All right, Dylan. So, as we're talking about concrete settlement, a lot of our homeowners really appreciate understanding what maybe caused these problems and how they came into this situation to begin with. So, right here I have the short video that I'm going to play for us, just to help give you a better understanding and maybe a better visual as to why you might be experiencing those problems, okay?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Cool. So, the main issue that we're facing here, obviously, is concrete settlement, right? You want to know the question, though, why is it settle?
Yeah.
So, essentially, there are two main soil types that we're working with here. You have native soil, which gets naturally compacted over time, and you have fill soil. Now, fill soil is typically brought in by a contractor to create a flat surface on which your concrete is constructed upon. From there, that soil is then compacted to a certain degree, forms are put in place, and the concrete is poured. However, in most homeowner circumstances, the main issue here is that soil beneath that slab wasn't properly compacted to begin with. So what do you think might happen when you drive your car along it?
It's going to break.
It's going to crack and settle, right? Another main issue with concrete settlement is going to be the drying and shrinking of the soils. So when you move into the hotter months, kind of think of like clay when you leave it out to dry, or like a brittle sponge. That's how your soil is acting in this instance. So when it dries up, it's actually going to shrink and consolidate, creating something that we call voids underneath your slab for it to then settle down into. Make sense so far?
Totally.
Awesome. And then when you move into the wetter months, all that rain is then going to follow the path of least resistance, and it's going to wash up underneath your slab and erode all that soil beneath it. And in turn, what this is going to do again is just create more voids for your concrete to settle down into.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So based upon this information, what do you feel like might be the root cause of your concrete settlement?
I mean, you've made it clear it's the soil.
It's the soil, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So historically, there have been a few main options that homeowners have attempted to do in the past to help to repair this type of situation. Now, I emphasize the word historical just because nowadays these are considered outdated and they don't permanently address the issue. And I'll show you why here in just a second, okay?
All right.
So with mud jacking, what that is contractors will drill about baseball-sized holes into your concrete.
Man, look at that.
Yeah, I know. Pretty big eyesore, isn't it?
Yeah.
From there, they're going to pump what's called a slurry mixture into the ground. And this slurry mixture weighs a lot. Weighs anywhere from 100 to 150 pounds per cubic foot. That's because it's comprised of a multitude of different elements, anywhere from sand, soil, cement, and pretty much any other aggregates that the contractor can get their hands on at that time. Now, the main issue that we're going to be facing here with mud jacking is going to be the weight. So your slab was already failing because the soil beneath it can support the weight above it. So what do you think is going to happen when we just add more weight to the already existing problem?
It's going to sink like a ship.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Think of like an anchor to an already sinking ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can tell by these visuals, but it doesn't look really too aesthetic, does it?
Not even a little bit. I'd hate that.
Yeah. That's because when mud jacking is installed, it's pumped into the ground, as I mentioned, and it spurs out everywhere, creating this mess for you along your driveway, your lawn, and once again, just look at those baseball-sized holes. Pretty big eyes for it, right?
Jeez.
Yeah. Next main option was concrete replacement. Now, I understand why homeowners may attempt to go this route. However, with concrete replacement, it tends to be expensive, invasive, and all around just time-consuming too, right? So they're having to bring in a bunch of heavy equipment to rip out all that old concrete and replace it with new concrete. So this can, in turn, cause damage to your landscaping.
Yeah.
As you can tell by these.
It looks like it. Look at that mess.
Exactly. And as I mentioned, it's also really time-consuming. Concrete takes anywhere from 28 to 30 days for it to properly cure. So in this case, we're talking about stabilizing your driveway. You're not able to park in your driveway for up to a month. Does that sound like something you might want to do?
No, it's not practical at all.
Not practical at all, right? So, and once again, to wrap this all up, both these historic options don't address the underlying issue here, which is the soil, right?
It's the soil.
Yeah. So imagine ripping out all that old concrete and replacing it with new concrete on top of already compromised soil. What do you think is going to happen?
The same exact issue I've been having.
Exactly. You're just going to end up calling us back out, right?
Exactly.
Right.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
So that's where we come in. Groundworks, we created something called the Settle Stop Poly Renewal System. And so our engineering department put together this short video clip that explains this at a really high level.
Perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and play this for you, and then we'll take a deeper dive as to what that means, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you, Connor.
You're welcome. So to kind of sum up in that video, the installation process is really simple and straightforward. As opposed to mud jacking with those baseball-sized holes, we're only going to be drilling about penny-sized holes, no more than the diameter of your pinky, okay? From there, we're going to inject the poly renewal. It goes in as a liquid and then expands as a foam, and it works in two parts. As it goes in as a liquid, it's going to stabilize the soil beneath it and fill those already existing voids. And once it expands into that foam, it's going to create that lift effect for your concrete to hopefully get it back to its original position.
Right.
Yeah. Some great things about this system too is it prevents drying and shrinking of the soil. And what I mean about that is it acts as a thermal barrier. So now there is a layer in between the soil and the concrete above it. So all that heat conducting into the concrete can't reach the soil and prevent more voids.
Sounds like a perfect solution.
It's also hydrophobic, so it means it's really allergic to water.
It's a big word.
Yeah, it is. And most of the time what we see with this system is when we inject it into the ground, it actually pumps out all that water that was sitting underneath your slab. So in turn, once again, it's going to prevent wettening and softening of your soil, creating more voids for you.
The issues you talked about.
Exactly. And one thing that's great about this too is, as opposed to total concrete replacement that takes up to a month like we mentioned, it's usable within 15 minutes.
Get out of here.
Swear to God. And after we install the poly renewal, we're going to remove the debris and grind out all the cracks. And then we're going to seal it with this caulking.
Wow.
We do this because when we move into the wetter months, as we mentioned before, we don't want any more rain seeping into that concrete, and then in the winter months expanding, creating more cracks. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. It seems like this is a full solution.
Yes, sir. And what's great about this package is it comes with a 5-year transferable warranty.
Wow.
So
What does that mean?
So that means that if your concrete settles within those 5 years, even more than a quarter of an inch, we'll have our service technician come out and re-inject it for you.
I mean, how could I say no to this? You're addressing You're addressing the problem, which is the soil. I mean,
and as I mentioned, it's transferable, so it's not tied to you as the homeowner. It's tied to us as the company and to your home.
Connor, I'm sold. How do I sign up for this?
Well, let me get your proposal ready, and we'll get talking. Okay? Yes, sir.
Good job.